unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
Wow, Ryan Garcia announces that he is no longer fighting Javier Fortuna due to mental health issues. Ryan Garcia again pulls out, withdraws from the Javier Fortuna fight, and we're going to talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Let me jump right into the mix. Ryan Garcia, verified page, he posted this photo of himself, and let's read what he had to say. So Ryan Garcia told his fans, he got almost whatever 8-9 million fans. He says, I know this news may be disappointing to some of my fans, but I am announcing today that I am withdrawing from my July 9th fight. At this time, it is important to manage my health and well-being. I have decided to take some time off to focus on becoming a stronger version of myself. I hope to be back soon, and am looking forward to stepping back in the ring when I am my healthiest self. I want to thank God, my family members, my doctors, and my supporters. Wow. Well, first, let me start off by saying, wish him a speedy recovery if this is in fact true and this is something he's going through. To me, no matter how you slice it, I believe this is a bad look. It's a bad look. The fight was just announced. I'm not saying you shouldn't take care of your mental health, but recently in boxing, we've seen mental health become like basically something that is continually used in the sport of boxing. Fighters have always had demons and, people in general, entertainers. Look at DMX and like the personal battles and demons that he's had and stuff like that. And it can affect any of us, like in terms of like depression and, not feeling your best and things like that. But no matter how you slice it, this was a fight people were anticipating. And at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself. But there are going to be a faction of people who believe this was never going on. And what the crazy thing is this, somehow, some way, Ego Stradamus strikes again. Now, I told you I didn't see Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna happening. Ego Stradamus had that prediction. I said, I don't see Ryan or Golden Boy making that fight. It's a dangerous fight. Javier Fortuna is, very tough customer, rough and rugged. So Ego Stradamus put that prediction out there, and then they announced the fight. We heard rumors and rumblings of a negotiation, and then Ryan said he was going to announce on a Tuesday, and I made a video a week later on a Monday, and I'm like, he still hasn't announced the fight. It was like, what gives? And then right after, this is all fact, right? I did a video on Monday. He said he was going to announce the fight the previous Tuesday, so it had been roughly a week. And then the day after I did my video and I said, where's the announcement that Ryan was talking about? Then the very next day they announced the fight, right? And everybody gave Ryan Garcia credit. And me, Ego Stradamus, I had to eat it. I was like, okay, I'm wrong. I guess they did make the fight. I guess Oscar did let him fight. And people gave him props. Look at Oscar. He in the comment section right there. Oscar De La Hoya says, yet another tough SOB. Glad collectively we got this done 1 week ago. And then a week, so like they announced the fight, and within in the zones talking about let's go, and then within a week he has mental health issues. Like, listen, I can't tell you what's going on. Like I said, if this is in fact true, then he got to take care of himself. But you just announced the fight, and within a week this comes up, and I can tell you because I've suffered from depression. And I've had anxiety and different things like that, and different people process things different. I get that. But at the end of the day, usually depression, the onset of depression is something that happens over time and you don't even really notice it. Like you just over time, bad things or bad misfortune or a breakup or family problem or whatever. And then before you know, you're like, man, I've been depressed. It's not something that you just wake up one day and things aren't going your way. So you're like, oh, I'm depressed. You know what I'm saying? There's something that it's like bills and like debt. Usually debt is accrued. Most people don't just go into debt in one fell swoop with like just one purchase. It's those little nagging, lingering, just transaction after transaction. And over time, you realize you're in debt. So it's weird. And to me, this is just my opinion. And I'm not trying to sound cutthroat or whatever, but it's weird that you announced a fight and do posters and everyone's giving credit for Oscar de la Hoya. And then a week later, you're like, no, I'm not mentally fit to go to battle. So I got to spend some time for me. So to me, I believe it's cap and there's other things going on, behind the scenes. Like, I don't know, maybe his money. And listen, we live in a place where there's certain things that I guess are supposed to be received as acceptable. So if you say certain things, then nobody can have an opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's my mental health. Tyson Fury used this card. Oh, my mental health and this. And ESPN and Mark Kriegel, they did all these sob story bios about mental health awareness, which is a serious thing, and I wouldn't undermine that. But to me, it just seems like more than meets the eye. He's with his daughter and stuff like that. And I know how depression works. But to me, this just seems like a fight that was destined to not happen. And it's crazy because Igor Stradamus predicted this. Then I was wrong, or so we thought. But in the end, y'all still let Igor Stradamus be right. So all in all, I personally look at this as this is, it's a bad look. It just looks like continual cap. Ryan Garcia said he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. Posted a flyer, said, oh, dream come true. Before that, he said he was fighting Tank. Then he said, I have a big announcement. I'm not fighting Tank. I'm fighting someone bigger than Tank. This is amazing. And then we went through this whole charade. Now, after Tank's on pay-per-view, keep in mind. Right? So after clout chasing the Tank situation and then announcing the Pacquiao fight prematurely and not being able to get it done, then you announce the Javier Fortuna fight, and then now you're not mentally fit and you're struggling with mental health issues for the first time. That has caused you to pull out in a very dangerous fight. I'm being real. That doesn't, the optics of it don't really look great. Now, Dan Rafael, he posted this. It says, breaking: Ryan Garcia withdraws from his Javier Fortuna fight. It says, Ryan Garcia, emerging star, yada, yada, yada. Fortuna's promoter, Samson Likowitz, told Fight Freaks Unite that Golden Boy president Eric Gomez told him Ryan Garcia was having mental health issues, and this is why he withdrew from the bout. There's a direct quote, which I'll highlight for you guys. It says, Eric Gomez of Golden Boy called me this morning, said Ryan Garcia has mental health issues and that he decided not to fight. I have a contract, but what do I do with the signed contract? The only thing I need is a solution. Maybe he changed his mind about fighting Javier Fortuna. Whatever it is, I wish him a speedy recovery. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying more or less the same thing. Now it's off. However, Garcia posted this, which I already went over, So anyway, it looks like pressure bursts pipes or creates diamonds, So Canelo's about to fight. We'll see if Ryan and his mental health issues, if they go to Canelo's fight versus Saunders, to support Big Bro. Because I know when I was depressed, I didn't want to deal with people. I didn't want to, be out in the public. I didn't want to, I wouldn't want to have dealt with paparazzi or media. So, we'll see. We'll see if something, I don't know. I just have a funny feeling like there's more to it. Like maybe his pay, maybe the risk of Javier Fortuna, whatever the situation is. Like, it's crazy because Ryan Garcia, there's a lot of pressure on him. So I could understand how somebody could, you know, feel bogged down. However, this is why I say what I say in my videos, because he's young, he's flashy. They call him the Flash, the nickname the Flash, and some of these things were avoidable, like announcing, like if you Ryan Garcia has been someone who's spoken about anxiety, right? But you, in essence, if you have bad anxiety, you got to look inward and think about situations or things you are doing that would entice or, you know, accelerate anxiety. Like posting this, he since deleted the Pacquiao post, but saying next fight announcing real soon. This was 13 weeks ago, yo. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. And then after that, saying it was Pacquiao. So if you're a person that has anxiety, then why would you do this? Like, you know, post stuff like this and Pacquiao, and, you know, post this saying you're fighting Gervonta Davis. Listen, a lot of fighters have a lot of issues. And it's funny enough, people are blaming Jake Paul for boxing's ailments and woes. This is probably a worse look than anything, the DAZN curse strikes again, than anything Jake Paul is doing. However, you have to also look at Jake Paul. Let's look at what he's up against. He's also somebody who's popping in the digital space, an influencer. He hasn't been boxing his whole entire life. He only has 2 fights going into his 3rd fight with Ben Askren, right? And Jake Paul, and I'm not trying to act like the Jake Paul advocate of the century, but I'm a real person. He goes into the Ben Askren fight as an influencer, a known person. So his reputation's on the line. They both talked a lot of crap and trash talked each other. And his security / friend / bodyguard dies in the middle of his camp unexpectedly. Right? Then the week of his fight, Jake Paul gets charged with actual assault. And I have to censor it. You guys know what I'm talking about. From some TikTok chick, right? The week of his fight. So his man's died, his bodyguard, his security died in camp. Then he gets this charge that was bad press. Plus the Ben Askren fight, you know, was kind of do or die, because it was, people looked at it as like boxer or YouTuber versus UFC. And it was the biggest fight of his career, because he fought an actual fighter. Somehow, some way, Jake Paul holds it together, gets a sensational knockout, and, you know, keeps it all together. And he ain't the boxer. People saying he's the problem. So yeah, just like his nickname, the problem child. At least he's keeping his ish together to perform. Right. And this is nothing new. And he's not even like I said, the lifelong boxer like Ryan Garcia. So some people are built different for the pressures of celebrity and stardom. We've seen it with Mayweather. Mayweather got sued by his former ex, Miss Jackson, the week of the Maidana fight. He knew during the Cotto fight that after that fight, he was going to have to report to jail for like 90 days. First time in his life, you know, someone who's been celebrity since he was young and a boxing standout. So to see Ryan Garcia, again, people process things different, but all in all, it's just not the best of looks. It's not the best of look for DAZN platform. Like, everybody gave props to Ryan Garcia. So like I said, if you have to take care of yourself and that's what you're stating it as, then so be it. Make sure you know what's done is done. I'm just giving you my opinion, how the optics of it, I already know. I've been in boxing for so long. And lastly, I want to talk about the double standards. You see the double standards, like Adrian Broner, he posts these cryptic messages like, I don't want to be here and things like that. And people try to roast Adrian Broner, and maybe he needs mental health issues or awareness or a therapist or whatever the situation is. But you see an amazing stark contrast between Ryan Garcia when he posted. People are like, oh man, come on, hang in there, champ. Just, you know, take care of yourself, blah, blah, blah. But then when Broner says something crazy or weird, people write it off like he's just like a clown or whatever. So you do see a different level of sympathy for certain guys. Ryan Garcia, Tyson Fury, they say mental health issues are plaguing their career, and then, you know, everyone's all sympathetic. But then Deontay Wilder, whatever he says, something was amiss in my fight with Tyson Fury, and everyone like, no, get out of here, you're a liar. And then they make up stuff about Deontay Wilder. Look at how black fighters are treated. You know, they make up stuff. Wilder, there were reports that came out in his absence when he wasn't really speaking too much, and they said Deontay Wilder was depressed. So they put depression on him. Like they said, oh, he's depressed and he's having so much trouble dealing with the Tyson Fury loss. And I know people in Wilder's camp, and that wasn't the case. So it's funny to see how the experience tends to vary. Everybody's sympathetic of Ryan Garcia, despite constant cap from the camp, you know what I mean, of broken promises. I'm fighting Tank, I'm fighting Pacquiao, I'm fighting Fortuna. That's 3 strikes. But then he, you know, uses mental health as the patsy or scapegoat as to what's causing this. And, you know, everyone's empathetic and sympathetic. But again, with Deontay Wilder, he says certain things weren't right. I could tell. I think Tyson Fury did something with the glove. Boom, boom, boom. You know, something was up my water. I felt weird. My legs was crazy. And everyone's like, shut up, no. You know, so you see that. And then they lied and said Wilder was depressed, and he wasn't depressed. So I had to point that out. You know, if Ryan Garcia is really suffering or going through something, then he made the right call. Take some time off. But I'll be anxious and reviewing the comments in the video, see what you guys think of it. So wish him a speedy recovery if it is in fact true. But you can't help, the perception is not quite there. The optics of it look bad, and really it's from what I've said in prior things, because if this was the first thing that Ryan Garcia did and posted, it wouldn't have been bad. But this is 3rd fight in a matter of 2021 that hasn't happened, that he precluded, that he said was going to happen. You know, Pacquiao, Tank, and now this. So, you know, we'll see how people receive it. That's just my opinion. Order UFC 261 tonight is the night. Use my link in the description. It does help when you get that ESPN Plus UFC 261 by ordering from my link. Appreciate y'all. Wish Ryan a speedy recovery if this is in fact true. We working. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TUBEBUDDY. I've used TUBEBUDDY for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TUBEBUDDY is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your